Quantifying a market opportunity. I've seen hundreds of entrepreneurs make mistakes in the way they think about, quantify, and present a potential market opportunity. I'm going to walk you through the process of accurately quantifying your market opportunity to avoid those common pitfalls. But first, there are a few concepts you'll need to understand. You may often hear the terms TAM, T-A-M, or SAM, or SOM, S-O-M. TAM, SAM, SOM. No, that's not a soup from Thailand. It's a popular way to quantify and specify market opportunities, market potential, and realistic market capture, as well as target market. TAM, SAM, SOM stand for TAM, Total Addressable Market, SAM, Serviceable Addressable Market, and SOM, Serviceable Obtainable Market. Okay, Total Addressable Market means the total potential market demand and revenue for your product. Typically, you'll want to specify total addressable market in one geographic area, say India or China or Africa or North America or Western Europe, etc. You also need to make sure that you're researching a specific enough market. This is where entrepreneurs will often make a critical mistake. If your business is producing hubcaps, then your total addressable market is not the entire automobile industry. Your market is just the hubcap market. Let's talk about serviceable addressable market. It's a portion of your total addressable market that your company can address based on certain constraints. For instance, in the case of M. Taylor, while their total addressable market would be the U.S. clothing industry, and their serviceable addressable market would be only a portion of that. The restraints that they are operating under were willingness to use an app in order to order clothing. Therefore, they could estimate their serviceable addressable market as the revenue in the clothing industry generated by millennials, urban professionals. Let's talk about serviceable obtainable market, SOM. It's also known as the target market. It's the realistic share of the addressable market that your company and business model plans can serve or capture. This is the segment of your market that you are realistically planning to build a path towards capturing in the near future. There are two different approaches used to quantify TAM, SAM, and SOM. Top-down approach and bottom-up. Both of these approaches have their pros and cons. It's actually best to use both approaches in quantifying your market in order to validate the numbers that you define. Let's start with top-down. A top-down quantification approach requires you to conduct market research and find data available in the market at the big picture level. For the total addressable market, you'll likely be able to find data online about a particular market, or you may be able to find an equivalent set of data for a market that's similar to the one you're addressing. This would be data on annual revenue generated by a particular market or by a particular customer segment or a given industry. Be careful to be specific about how you define your market and use the data that best suits your needs. Again, just because you're selling hubcaps, it doesn't mean that the total addressable market is the annual revenue generated by the entire global automobile industry. If you're able to quantify the TAM for M. Taylor, you may start out with the annual revenue generated by the U.S. clothing industry. That can involve conducting secondary research on the web to seek out market data. From there, you can quantify your serviceable addressable market in a top-down approach by estimating what percentage of the total addressable market your company could reach. This could be the big vision of your end goal. How much of that market do you plan to eventually capture? Again, if you don't calculate your TAM properly to start, this is really going to skew your metrics. After calculating SAM, you can then break down metrics to reflect your target market. This can be quantified by multiplying your SAM by the percentage that best reflects how much of that market you can realistically capture based on your business model and your projections. This percentage is also known as your penetration rate. The biggest problem with top-down projections is they tend to be unrealistic, even impractical at times. They're based on very big assumptions, like your target market penetration rate and data about markets that could be flawed. If you get one part wrong, it can dramatically change your market opportunity. That's why most people and most investors prefer to see a bottoms-up quantification. This is especially important to qualify your target market. For a bottom-up approach to quantification, you need to consider how to build your market, segment by segment. Think about your market and your target market in the way that we discussed in the previous section. This will help you. Once you've identified your key market segments, you'll have to quantify how many customers exist in your market that fit that particular persona. Then you'll have to quantify the lifetime value of your customer and multiply that by the total number of potential customers. To do this for your target market, let's look at M. Taylor again. Their serviceable attainable market, or target market, was those millennial males who were urban professionals in the United States. But they had to account for their market penetration rate. If they believed they could capture 30% of the millennial urban professionals, they'd quantify this by first calculating how many people would fit that persona in a major set of cities like New York and Seattle and San Francisco and Los Angeles. They could actually find data from the US Census on that. Next, they would take 30% of that number of people, which would give them a rough estimate of how many potential customers they'd have to serve. Then they'd calculate the potential revenue by taking the number of potential customers in their particular target market and multiply that by the amount of revenue that they could earn per customer over their lifetime. This is known as lifetime value, or LTV, which you'll learn plenty about in unit economics. To calculate their serviceable addressable market, the process would be similar, but expanded in scope. The SAM, serviceable addressable market, adds other potential market segments to the SOM. This would not only include the male working millennials, but also women of a similar demographic and slightly older customer groups as well. Once you can quantify what your market would look like, once you target a larger set of market segments, you can multiply that by your customer's lifetime value again. For the total addressable market, you can keep the top-down quantification you did earlier, or keep building a bottoms-up quantification using the same process as above. One important thing that you should do is run through this process with multiple scenarios, especially when quantifying your SOM and your SAM. For instance, you can quantify a best-case scenario to demonstrate what your market capture would look like if you're able to achieve optimistic traction and market penetration rates. You can also quantify a realistic or even a base case scenario that closer aligns with conservative market penetration rates. When you quantify a worst case scenario, you can show you can still plan to enter that market and acquire customers at a lower rate, accounting for major risks. Being able to understand and develop models around multiple scenarios is really important for you and your investors. Investors want to know that you've thought about a big vision around your business and that you're prepared for the risks that come with that market opportunity.